Yes, Elden Ring is hard. Now, before all the, oh, it's not that hard, you just need to get better, why aren't you doing a full strength build, oh, you're a bleed player, we're not talking about that. What I am going to talk about is the controversy going around the DLC and how it's too difficult. You paid $100 total for this game. You should play it however you feel like playing it. So, if you want to run a Dex Faith build with summons, you can. If you want to run a pure strength build, you can. You can run whatever you want. A little bit of a spoiler warning, I'm going to be talking about one of the bosses, which is Mesmir, aka the poster boy for the DLC. Here's my thing when it comes to boss fights. What I look into a boss fight is it fun? Is the design of the character fun? Is the arena fun? How is the music when it comes to it? And the difficulty to fun ratio. What I can proudly say is that Mesmir is the closest to a perfect boss you could ever be. He has the perfect balance of keeping you on your toes, making you adjust to your surroundings, and having you make quick time decisions. I think he has one of the coolest movesets ever. His snake and fire abilities really mesh well with together. The arena looks really cool. And his second phase is amazing. He goes full berserk and turns into a big snake and just comes at you all the time. I think what people don't understand is they've gotten too comfortable with games holding your hand. We are talking about From Software here. From Software is one of those games that don't hold your hand. Elden Ring was the first one. People who have played Sekiro, Bloodborne, or the previous Souls games know that Elden Ring is considered one of the easier ones. The reason I'm talking about this is that people don't understand that you actually have to learn the game to get good at it. You can't just go in, one-shot everything, and leave. I know other games have difficulty settings where you can go on beginner, normal, hard, or extreme, but no, From Software, they do things differently. They give you one difficulty, and you have to adjust to it. They don't adjust to you. Back to Mesmir. I think when it comes to his boss fights, he is close to testing you on how well you have improved as a player. For example, one of his movesets is a 3-piece combo where he goes in the air, swings around with fire, does a bunch of thrust abilities, slams on the ground, and then spikes comes out. I'm not gonna lie, playing that and seeing that for the first time really messed me up. Because trying to avoid that, I didn't know how to, and I thought I did, but I didn't. But as soon as I figured out his combo set, how to dodge it, his first phase became so easy to me that every time I would go him afterwards, I would breeze through his first phase. His second phase, in my opinion, is something that I think every boss should do. Every boss fight should copy. His second phase, what he does is he takes out his eye and then he goes berserk, basically turning into a snake and removing anything that he had. Removing any limits, basically, of him. You thought his first phase, he didn't give you any room? Nah, his second phase turned that to 100. And I was getting really frustrated with his second phase. But to be honest with you, I think his second phase wasn't that as bad as you think it was. As you see, when you learn a boss's movesets, they become easier. They become more fun to fight. And that's the beauty of Souls-like games. They are fun when you learn the game. They're fun when you understand how bosses act, how your weapons do, how builds work. I think review bombing it is a little harsh to do when the game prides itself in its difficulty and testing you on your skills. People will say, oh, don't use a summon, you didn't really beat the game, or if you didn't do a strength only build, you didn't really beat the game. You pay for the game. You paid $100 for the game. You play however the damn well you want to play. If you want to run a build, you want to do summons, you want to do a mimic tier, go for it. Who's gonna stop you? This is your game that you bought. You play it however you want.